Hi, I'm Shelby Williams with Plano City Council. And in tonight's council recap, I'm going to do things a little bit differently on advice from a friend. I'm going to give you the key themes we touched on in tonight's meeting and delve into each one, but I'll still give you the full list of events. Now first, in the preliminary open meeting, we had a discussion about the Plano Housing Authority and the ability for the Plano Housing Authority as a nonprofit public facilities corporation to take an existing property off of the tax rolls, the property tax rolls, and restructure the ownership to avoid taxation. There is a piece of legislation in Austin right now that purports to address this, but Deputy Mayor Pro Tem Rick Udelli brought forth the proposal for a resolution, or at least a guidance to take a stance as the city of Plano that if the Plano Housing Authority, whom we appoint board members to, wishes to request an exemption for property taxes for a property, that that matter be brought before council as well for additional scrutiny and approval. So we ended up supporting the legislative effort at the Capitol in Austin and resolving that if it didn't get done this session, then we would explore creating a resolution amongst council to ask for that, to have that additional layer of scrutiny. The next theme that was touched on was private property rights and eminent domain. During the comments of public interest at the regular meeting, there were another slew of speakers regarding the Montessori Children's House and the proposed bike trail that would cut through a corner of the undeveloped piece of property that the property owner has. Now, I've spoken about this in a couple prior meetings, but a new slew of speakers keeps showing up at every council meeting to speak to this. City attorney tonight responded with a litany of facts regarding this case, as is permissible in comments of public interest, to respond with facts for clarification. I will be outlining those in a post, and I invite anybody who has an alternative opinion to let me know. We have elected as a council to disclose certain things in public meeting. We did that on January 11th. And the reason I cannot unilaterally go discuss this with anybody is because things are discussed in executive session because the matter is under litigation. Per the Texas Open Meetings Act, the executive session is permissible for certain things. Litigation is one of those. And without the approval of council, there are certain things I cannot speak about publicly, or even outside of executive session, even privately outside of executive session. So the opposition to the bike trail has reached some, I'll call it hyperbole. Tonight, the bike trail was compared to rape, which I thought was especially tactless when one of our proclamations was for Sexual Assault Awareness Month. I myself have gone out to the property. I have looked at the existing property. I'll delve into all of this in my blog article, but we've heard several meetings now, speakers come and say that if a bike trail is put through there, then the kids will be in danger, and the latest narrative is that the school would have to shut down because the kids would be in such danger. I have walked there myself. I have taken photos. I can tell you that the kids would be in no more danger from a bike trail than they already are today, which is to say they are not in danger today. But again, I'll expound on that later. The third theme we touched on was taxation and spending. The consent agenda item J was pulled off of the consent agenda tonight for individual consideration at the request of a citizen. And that agenda item addressed the proposed 2% across the board pay raise to staff. Now, I outlined my reasons, personal reasons for supporting this in my city council preview that I posted on Friday. And one of the big reasons I reiterated tonight at the meeting was that our staff's purchasing power is subject to inflation the same as everybody else's. And we did not, and I repeat, did not provide any pay raises last year during the pandemic because we were facing a very uncertain economic condition. So they have not had a pay raise since October of 2019. So we felt it appropriate, because our economic situation has stabilized, to provide a 2% across the board pay raise. Now, these are typically referred to as cost of living increases because of inflation. And with the federal government spending money that doesn't exist, inflation is about to be a pretty big problem. I'll go into that in detail in a blog article as well. When it comes to taxation, many of you know that I have recently spent time at the Capitol championing House Bill 749 by Representative Mays Middleton to ban taxpayer-funded lobbying. I will be writing an article detailing that as well. And I know that I owe you all a breakdown on the upcoming bond referendum. I promise that is coming soon. Now, several of the things that happened tonight, apart from the themes, are we had the proclamations, one of which was that April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month. We also issued a proclamation for this week to be National Crime Prevention Week. National Crime Victims Awareness Week. My bad. And a certificate of commendation to the Sam Johnson Recreation Senior Center, which has achieved reaccreditation from the National Council on Aging. Sorry, I've mixed up my notes tonight to give you the themes first, and so I'm getting everything out of order and I'm stumbling over my sentences, so I apologize. We finally closed. There were 5 items for individual consideration tonight. 4 of them were tabled because of a posting issue, which I came to find out, and I will be pursuing options to address this in the future. Because zoning requests require the zoning signage to be placed a certain amount of time in advance prior to hearings at Planning and Zoning and Council. Apparently, the filing for the affidavit for the property owners, the zoning requesters, to say, yes, I have had the signage out for this period of time, the affidavits for those missed the deadline. So 4 items amongst the different applicants had to be tabled because those affidavits were not received in time. I'm checking to find out whether that requirement is at the state level, city charter level, ordinance level, or just procedural level. But I'll find out, and I'm seeing what we can do to at least make sure that affidavits aren't missed on the deadline. And then finally we came to a rezoning request, which apparently didn't miss the affidavit, for some land south of, it was a wide swath of land south of Plano Parkway, north of George Bush, west of Alma, and east of Custer. So this is a proposed development, and I'll cut to the chase. The multifamily amount is staying the same at 1,300 units, which had already been approved in the past. The single family is proposed to be increased from 259 units to 291 units. Therefore, the overall density is going down from 40 to 36. That is a measure of dwelling units per acre. So the density, the population density, is not going down because the overall amount of housing is increasing, but the density as dwelling units per acre is changing because the ratio is changing, so it's going down. It's also worthy to note that there was a slight increase in the proposed retail space there, but this was from 2.5% of the overall area to 2.9%, so not a huge increase, and it was a tiny amount to start with. That was it for tonight's meeting. Please tune in next time, and please subscribe to my blog so you can get notified for all of these upcoming breakdowns and videos which I owe you. I'm Shelby Williams with Plano City Council. Thank you.